All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports and Knowledge Podcast. As expected, we are off to a roaring start for this offseason in the NBA. And like I've been talking about for months now, you can thank the league's new additional tax apron for that. The Denver Nuggets wasted no time in their attempts to avoid that apron, as on Tuesday they agreed to trade forward Michael Porter Jr. to the Brooklyn Nets. Now, in exchange for Porter Jr., the Nuggets are receiving forward Cam Johnson, while Denver is also sending Brooklyn an unprotected first round pick in 2032 to help offset the difference in the players' salaries. Now, the Nuggets were looking for some salary flexibility, which they got while they didn't skip a beat. And once one really could sit back and make a compelling case that Denver has gotten better so far this offseason in comparison to where they were at the end of the year. Now, if you're Denver, you've got yourselves, in my opinion, what could be a solid third option behind Nikola Jokic and behind Jamal Murray and Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson has proven himself to be a solid scorer. Of course, he was one of the bigger scoring options or better scoring options, if you will, for Brooklyn this past season, as he averaged nearly 19 points per game, which was a career high. But nonetheless, Cam Johnson is also going to help at the defensive end of the floor for the Nuggets. And then going back to the offensive end, it's all about spacing, and it's all about being able to play off of that ball with a guy like Nikola Jokic. And it's one of those things. You think about Nikola Jokic, you're talking about one of the better players in the NBA, period. And and being one of the better players in the NBA, the Joker also has the ability to make the guys around him better, which is why I think Cam Johnson has an opportunity to really do some big things in the Mile High City with the Nuggets. Now, coming into this offseason, the Nuggets talked about the need for more depth. And aside from picking up Cam Johnson from Brooklyn, the Denver Nuggets have also brought back guard Bruce Brown, who was an integral part of their championship team just 2 years ago before he left in free agency. We also saw Denver go out there and make the trade with the Sacramento Kings for center Jonas Valanciunas, which is going to give them another big body to play alongside the Joker. And you think about Valanciunas, he could hit that baseline shot. He could play the post. He could also hit that perimeter shot. So it's one of those where clearly, you bring him in off the bench, and you could also put him in the lineup at the same time, with the Joker to give you two bigs. And of course, if the Joker's down low, Valanciunas, a lot of people can sleep on him. He can hit that 15-foot shot if you don't pay attention. So I really like what the Nuggets are doing there. And again, aside from bringing in Valanciunas, bringing back Bruce Brown, bringing in Cam Johnson, Denver yesterday also signed veteran Tim Hardaway Jr. to a one-year deal as well. So if you are Denver, it is all about putting the best possible team around the Joker because, again, he's one of the best players in the NBA, and this is the prime of his career. And we saw Denver get that championship a couple of years ago, and they're saying, you know what? We want to keep this championship window with these prime years of Joker open for as long as possible. And again, Denver's not a real small market, but they're not a big market either. But again, it's all about the flexibility and staying under that cap. And they've done a solid job of it so far. And again, like I talked about it before with this additional cap apron, the teams that want to win are going to find a way around things. Denver wants to win, and they're finding a way around it. They've got a new front office in place for the Nuggets, and so far, they're making big moves to give head coach David Adelman everything that he needs, giving the Joker everything that he needs, and I think this Nuggets team could be a very dangerous team once again in the Western Conference next season. You knew the changes were going to be coming in Denver. Of course, it was a interesting end to the regular season. General manager Calvin Booth and, of course, head coach Michael Malone were both fired with 3 games left. You knew that there were going to be some changes to this roster, and I expected Michael Porter Jr. to be the odd man out. And of course, so far he is, as he's on his way to Brooklyn. But nonetheless, if you are Michael Porter Jr., this is going to be an opportunity for you to be something that you have not been in the NBA so far. And that is Michael Porter Jr. is about to become the featured guy. He averaged 18 points per game last year for Denver. He was a big part of their championship team a couple of years ago. He's going to bring that championship experience to Brooklyn, but the talent around him is not going to be the same in Brooklyn that it was in Denver. So I'm looking at Brooklyn like this, and I've been saying this for quite some time. I'm not sure what the net strategy is because they lost 56 games last year. They're allegedly rebuilding. They had 5 first-round picks for this year's NBA draft. They used all 5 of them, but they didn't pick up a player that's going to go out there and make an impact. I think all 5 of the guys that the Nets drafted, if all of them do play in the NBA, some might stay overseas. Um, there really aren't any guys there that are going to come in and make an impact right away. They could potentially be impact players 3, 4, 5 years down the road. And on top of that, they're going to need star players to feed off of. And right now, Brooklyn simply doesn't have that. I think Michael Porter Jr. is going to be Brooklyn's #1 scoring option, kind of like Mikal Bridges was a couple of years ago, just due to the fact that, hey, you got nobody else to go out there and really get the ball to. So if you ask me who won this trade, I'm going to give it to Denver because I'm looking at Denver. And again, from the end of the season to right now, the Nuggets got better. They wanted more depth. They wanted more financial flexibility, and they got it because Cam Johnson can do a lot of the things that Michael Porter Jr. can do, and he's also cheaper. Let's not forget, Denver still has Aaron Gordon. You have a young, emerging Christian Braun as well. You've got Jamal Murray, who's one of the better playoff guards in the NBA right now. And then, of course, you've got the Joker. I'm really not expecting that much from the Brooklyn Nets as usual. It's one of those, again, I just don't understand what they're doing right now. I don't understand their identity. And again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Sean Marks, as the Nets general manager, is too comfortable. He's been there too long, and he simply does not have the results to warrant him staying with that team. But nonetheless, it's going to be a very interesting offseason. Teams have to get creative. And I think this was in the works for Denver for quite some time. They got off of Michael Porter Jr.'s contract. They bring in Cam Johnson. I like this Nuggets team, and I like the way that it is coming together here in the summer of 2025. But nonetheless, like I keep saying, it's going to be a busy offseason in the NBA. It's been a bevy of moves. We're seeing more and more as the days, the hours, and the minutes go by. And it's simply just sit back and grab your popcorn and ask yourself, what is the next big move? But nonetheless, fine folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank each and every one of you for checking out the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. And as always, if you like what you heard and saw, you know what to do. Please feel free to hit that like button as well as subscribing to this channel. Like I always say, it is greatly appreciated. Also, if you are on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now you can check it out. Drop a line to be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. And just like it is on the X, you can check me out on Instagram at 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge. Give me that follow. I'll give you that follow right back. But until next time, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I'm signing off and I'm saying thanks once again for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. Be well, everybody.